Howdy once again, it's Mr. Pete, your internet shop teacher. Welcome back to the shop, although this will not be a shop video. It's going to be a road trip, a historical item, which I've been doing a few of lately, but do not give up, and I have a lot more shop videos to come. But I wanted to do this before winter breaks. The weather's still fairly nice outside. So recently there was a bad accident over on Route 80, and here's an article about it, but in the aerial view, it might have been a drone shot, they show the old Ottawa Test Road on Route 80, AASHO Test Road. This was a road that was built along before Route 80, but it was built on the Route 80 corridor, and the purpose was to test different pavement materials and different bases for durability, and they had instruments in the road, and they had little bridges built, and they ran large semi-flatbeds with concrete on it over years and years, endlessly, 24 hours a day, testing the pavement to decide how they're going to build the interstate system. I could talk a lot more about Eisenhower's interstate system, but that's not the purpose of this video. I remember all of this as a 15 or 16-year-old. My dad took me over there, and they were building these overpasses exactly 1 mile apart from each other on the Route 80 corridor, which was paralleling Route 6. So we could see it from old Route 6 between Utica and Ottawa, and that aroused my interest, and we went over there a lot of times when they were running that, and stood on the overpasses and would see these trucks that I believe were being operated by Army personnel, and there was a big maintenance building there, and well, a lot more. I'll have to keep this brief. You can go to Wikipedia or other sites and read a lot more about this if it should interest you. Let's take a look at this article here. There was a terrible accident about a month ago on Route 80. You can see the traffic snarled up, but in this middle picture here is the loop that is left of the old test road. See it right here? And there were 6 of those in all. This is the only one that's left. Someplace along the highway here there was a brown marker. I hope to be able to show that to you as I drive over there today. This is not Route 6. This is a frontage road or a country highway road. Now, AASHO stood for American Association of State Highways and Transportation Officials. So the results and the data derived from these tests was used in building the highway, deciding we need this pavement 14 inches thick, not 8 inches thick, and so on. And this took place again in the late 50s, early 60s. I was there the day they sold the equipment. I went to the auction. I think I was in junior college. I had no money, but I already was interested in all of that equipment. And I bought a hot dog. So let's take a ride over there now and see what's left of this. I'm not sure how good the view is from the ground. It won't be as good as this. I'm sitting at my computer. Take a look at Wikipedia and look under AASHO Test Road if you want to read the description. This is the brown sign along Route 80. This is the village of Utica. This is the town of Ottawa. This is old Route 6. It's still there. Route 80 not built yet, but you can see that they have built the bridges that I was talking about 1 mile apart, 640-acre sections here in Illinois, and there are 6 loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, I don't know where the other one is. And they over in this area is where they had an army barracks, I remember, and that's what the loops look like. And this is from Throwin' Wrench's website. Well, I'll be darned. There is a picture of the barracks, so I'm not imagining that there were barracks. Army Transportation Corps. And there they are fueling up the trucks. 1958. Okay, this is Google Earth on the computer, And at this intersection here, and that's where I'm going to try to go, that's where the administration building was and all of the maintenance buildings. There are a few buildings still left, privately owned. That is, again, Route 80. And there, at this end, is the final loop that still remains. Pretty well overgrown. All right, I'm in the car. Let's take a little road trip, shall we? I'm coming into Utica, Illinois, and it's a brand new bridge just opened less than a month ago. Took them years to build, but I remember when they built the old bridge there on the left, and they're going to dynamite that sometime this winter. I might come over and watch it. It's always fun to watch things destroyed, being destroyed. And there's a bicycle walking path here. This is the Illinois River, of course. That's a silica sand mine over there. I'm not sure if it's in the picture. And off to the left, trucks coming from a grain elevator and a limestone mine, crushed limestone for the roads. They realigned the road here. Of course, the funny thing is they realigned it with the original alignment from 1960. You can get a cupcake there for $4. On the right, this is a big event center for Harleys. You ought to see it on a Sunday. I'm on old Route 6, and you can see that Route 80, where the semis are, is only about a half mile away. That huge hill over there is a silica sand mine, and it's for fracking. And it's all shut down now, including the big processing plant here, because fracking has pretty much come to a stop, and a lot of people got laid off. There was a lot of opposition to this because good farmland was turned into a sand mine because the sand deposits are worth more than the corn. Also notice that the harvest is pretty much over. Ammonia truck is. I hope I can get through. Oh, he cut right in front of me. I haven't been on this road in 50 years. Okay, rather than going up on Route 80 at this time, I'm on the next road to the east, facing north, and you can see I'm exactly 1 mile away, or maybe you can't, from the buildings that I talked about. I hope this isn't too shaky. All of a sudden there's a bunch of cars along here. But I'm going to take a right at the stop sign. Before I do, looking the other way, if I can zoom in, perhaps you can see the maintenance buildings that I talked about. It's terribly windy out, so I will not be able to use the camera outdoors. It'll pick up that noise, but right here is the last remaining test loop. And you can see some of the pavement, or can you? That's the end of one of the loops. Boy, it's been a long time since I've been here. And you can see some of the original fencing, the posts with cables. That was prior to Route 80, that was for the test road. Now one thing I want to point out here, I'm going to pull the car over because there's no traffic. The back of these two signs that you see here, are explaining what the test road is, but of course they're facing Route 80 gets a tremendous amount of truck traffic. You know what, there's a little pull-off here. And a gate. And it's open. I think I'll take a test ride. Of course, I'm not going to drive up on there, but let's get out of the car and see if I can get any footage of this pavement without doing too much trespassing and getting picked up. But as you can see by the age of the iron on this gate, this is really old. But again, I won't be able to speak. The wind is quite brisk. Well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed my little historical tour, and this is a YouTube exclusive, by the way. You could see how badly deteriorated the pavement is, but then again, what pavement isn't after 50 or 60 years? It's really crumbling. But then again, the pavement on almost all of the older roads has been replaced at least one time on the interstate system, dug up and a bigger, thicker base put underneath, because you can see how heavy the traffic is, and they had no clue that trucks would be this big, this heavy, and that many of them when they built the road. See you next time. This is Tubalcain. Let me know if you like this kind of video. Now, this is extra credit, nothing to do with the test road, but I'm in my 2020 Toyota RAV4. I've told you many times that I hate the engine stop-start feature. Some of you do not know what I'm talking about, but every time you come to a stop sign, the engine goes off. Now, you can disable it temporarily for that driving session by pushing on this button, but I always forget to do that. I hate the feature. I think some of you do too, but I finally found out how to disable it. But there is a great penalty to pay. I'm not going to tell you how I disabled it. It's probably against the law, you know, everything else is. But the penalty is this. The flashing light will flash continually, indicating that. And then there is a warning here that will not go away. Start and stop system malfunction. Even if a fella pushes the button like that, it will quickly return. But just thought that I could tell you, and maybe you would enjoy, that I beat the system, with a penalty, of course. Moving that silica sand out, even though they aren't selling a lot of it. This is a different pit. I'm over in Ottawa. This is the one that used to be called Ottawa Silica, but they changed the name. So these are loaded cars, I believe, if they're going that direction. And they will hook up on the old Rock Island line, which is now called Iowa Interstate. There's a parking lot here for bike riders for the canal, which I often use, or used to when I was in my prime anyway. This used to be the office building for Ottawa Silica. I thought it was such a beautiful building, looked like it belonged in Williamsburg, but now it's something else. And the pits are behind the tree line there. But that's all played out, and all of the sand is being mined on the other side of the Illinois River and being brought over in a water slurry, pumped under the river to the processing plant. U.S. Silica, they call it now. I know this video is running too long. This is still extra credit, but I'm going to take you into this cemetery here in Ottawa, Illinois, to show you something historical, if you can take a little more of that. Again, I will not be able to talk when I get out of the car, but this is a large cemetery here in Ottawa, and there would be many of the radium girls buried here as well, and any radium in their body is still active. But I'm going to walk over here, and there's a car here. There's never any cars here, but there's a car parked in front of the grave that I want to check out, and it's William Boyce, the founder in America of the Boy Scouts, and there's a statue as such, so I'll walk over there real quickly, but I can't talk.